In the yesterday's session, we discussed about cell division and cell cycle, how interphase takes place, everything we discussed. And in the today's class, a remaining part of the cell cycle we are going to discuss. That is Mphase. Mphase. It occupies 5% of the cell cycle. And here M means mitotic phase. What is Mphase? Mitotic phase. This mitosis occurs in two steps. The first one is karyokinesis and the second one is cytokinesis. Karyokinesis, cytokinesis. Here the word karyo indicates nucleus. Kinesis means division. How nucleus divides. We will discuss first how nucleus is going to divide inside a cell during mitotic phase. And the next step of mitotic phase is cytokinesis. Here cyto means cytoplasm, kinesis means division. How cytoplasm divides inside a cell we will discuss in this session. I think you have interest to learn more about mitosis. It is very easy if you concentrate on this topic. Then without wasting our time, I am going to start this topic. See here children, the term mitos means thin thread-like structure. What is mitos? A thin thread-like structure. And here that word mitos was first coined by a scientist called as Walter Fleming. Walter Fleming first time coined the name of mitos, which means a thread-like structure. And it is also called as equational division. Equational division. What is meant by equational division? Here the new cells also have the same number of chromosomes as like parent cell. And this mitosis occurs in somatic cells or vegetative cells, or also called as body cells. Means mitosis occurs in our body cells. In our body we have different types of cells. In that body cells, mitotic cell division occurs. And this mitotic cell division occurs in 4 phases. First we are going to discuss about karyokinesis. It involves 4 phases. What are that? PM at. PM at. What is that PM at? You just imagine like this. PM at. See. PM at Chirala. You just imagine this. Then in order you can able to write. PM at C. Here P means prophase. M metaphase. A anaphase. T telophase. PM at. A T at. Next C. C means cytokinesis. Okay. That's why I ask you to remember. Here pro means first. Phase means stage. First stage of mitosis. In the first stage of mitosis, nuclear membrane and nucleolus start disappearing. They just start disappearing. Here the nucleus and nuclear membrane and nucleolus start disappearing. And at the same time, centrioles start moving opposite poles. These are the centrioles. And these centrioles, they start moving opposite poles, towards the opposite poles. And these centrioles are connected by a fiber-like structure that is called as spindle fiber. Spindle fiber. Okay. And then the genetic material condenses. The genetic material which is present in the cell condenses and forms chromatids and finally convert into chromosomes. Then in the prophase, the nuclear membrane and the nucleolus start disappearing. And the centrioles, they just start moving towards the opposite poles. And these centrioles were connected by a fiber-like structure, and that is called as spindle fibers. And here the genetic material condenses and forms chromatids, and these chromatids finally becomes into chromosomes. This is about prophase. Then move to the next one. What is that? Metaphase. Here meta means equator. Meta means equator. Phase means stage. The equatorial phase is also called as metaphase. In this phase, what happens? All the chromosomes present in the cell, they themselves arrange in an equatorial plane. They themselves arrange in an equatorial plane. And it is the best stage to study about chromosomes because the chromosomes are very thick and prominent. That's why we can able to observe the chromosomes very clearly by taking microscope. And at the same time, chromosomes are attached to the spindle fibers by the help of a centromere. Here we are finding a dot-like structure, and the dot is called as centromere. Here centromere is attaching the chromosomes. That is about metaphase. Then move to the next phase, that is anaphase. Here ana means short, phase means stage. The shortest stage of mitosis. What happens here? Here the chromosomes divide. They just divides from the centromere, here from the dot, and they just start moving towards the opposite poles. If you observe the diagram, here the chromosomes, they just divides and moving towards the opposite poles, we can observe. And the centromere, this dot, it just split and separates the chromatids. Okay, here we are finding only half of the chromosome. That half of the chromosome is called as chromatid. That is about anaphase. Here in the anaphase, the chromosomes are dividing from the centromere. Here the centromere is splitting and separates the chromatids. Then move to the telophase. Here telo means end. Phase means stage. The end stage of mitosis. What happens here? It is just a reversal of prophase. Prophase లో ఏమైతే జరుగుతుందో దానికి ఆపోజిట్ లో telophase లో జరుగుతుంది. Then what happens in this telophase? Nuclear membrane and nucleolus start reappearing. It just start reappearing. And then spindle fibers start disappearing. Spindle fibers, they just disappears, and chromosomes, they just recoil. Chromosomes, they just recoil and forms the chromatin material or the genetic material. Chromosomes, they just recoil and forms the genetic material. And finally, what happens? The mitotic phase completed. Not completed, half of the mitotic phase completed. Nuclear division completed. Then we are going to the next one, that is cytokinesis. Here cyto means cytoplasm, kinesis means division. Cytoplasmic division, how it is takes place inside an animal cell and a plant cell. Now we are going to discuss. I already told you cytokinesis takes place in two ways. In one way we can find in animal cell, another way we can find in plant cell. First of all, we are going to see how the cytokinesis takes place inside animal cell. It takes place by furrow formation. How it takes place? By the formation of a furrow. And the furrow formation, it just starts from periphery to the center. From the periphery, from the outer area to the center. And at the same time, this cytokinesis occurs by constriction. See here, imagine it is the parent cell. And here, during the cytokinesis, a furrow may form. Constriction of the cell occurs from periphery towards the center. Here, the parent cell is going to divide into two daughter cells by the formation of a furrow. This process occurs inside an animal cell. But in case of plant, it occurs in a different manner. See here, in plant cell, by a cell plate formation. It occurs by a cell plate formation. Okay, and this occurs from center to the periphery. This one occurs from periphery to the center, but in the plant cell, it occurs from center to the periphery by deposition of cellulose. How it happens? By deposition of cellulose. See here, this is the parent cell, parent plant cell, and here in the middle we can find a cell plate, and here to the cell plate we can find the deposition of cellulose. By this cell plate, the single parent cell divides into two daughter plant cells. Okay, like this cytokinesis occurs inside the cell of animal and plant. Like this, mitosis was completed inside an organism. Either it is an animal or plant. I think you understand well about mitosis. In the next session, we are going to discuss about meiosis, how it takes place in an easy manner. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel. Learn best things with Rama.